Drake, Kendrick, Lamar, Future, Metro Boomin, and all of these guys, they out here faking? What? Definitely gotta check out this video and see what the fuck he's talking about.
For the last few years, hip-hop has been on an obvious decline. What was once a chart-topping genre has been failing to top the charts like it once did. Hip-hop at one point was considered to be the king of all genres for years, and now it finally appears that it might be being dethroned. It was years ago now that Nas started saying hip-hop was dead. Now, what he was saying sounds like reality for the genre. Many people in the culture have been saying that if something big doesn't happen in hip-hop soon, it might just be over for it. Luckily for hip-hop, the moment that they've desperately needed seemed to have arrived with this Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef. This beef might just revive the interest needed to save the genre. The only problem with this situation is that it's obviously staged, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Welcome to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos every other day exposing the truth. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the truth about the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef. Let's get right into it. For the last few years, hip-hop has been desperately waiting for a big moment like the one we're seeing right now. The Billboard charts made it obvious that hip-hop wasn't as popular as it once was, as an entire year had passed by without hip-hop having a #1 on the charts once. A spot on the charts that hip-hop basically owned for years was now being taken by other genres. This alone spoke volumes of what was happening with hip-hop, as it was clearly starting to appear like the genre had ran its course and was now on its way out. This is similar to what we saw with other genres like rock and roll that sort of lessened in popularity over the years. If you're wondering why hip-hop seems to be declining, it could be due to many reasons. Hip-hop artists have all become redundant, with new rappers being basically a watered-down version of past rappers before them.
Facts.
In a time where there's more rappers than ever before, for the most part, most rappers all talk about the same four things over and over again.
Money, bitches,
substances, women, and jewelry. With every song basically being the same as the other, it appears that the fans may be becoming tired of the same four basic concepts. This could have been one of the reasons that led fans to stop supporting the music like they once did. Many top rappers of today have been dropping music with sales at an all-time low. For example, NBA YoungBoy, who's considered to be one of the top rappers in the industry, dropped his last project, Decided To, which only went on to sell 37,000 copies first week. It's important to note that YoungBoy is considered to be the top YouTube streaming artist out. If we compare YoungBoy to past top hip-hop artists like 50 Cent, back in the 2000s, his debut album Get Rich or Die Trying sold over 800,000 albums first week. If you think comparing YoungBoy to 50 Cent is unfair, we can take a look at Meek Mill's career, who sold 165,000 copies first week with his 2012 debut album Dreams and Nightmares. While it was a lot less than
both
50
classic
Cent, it was still a lot
albums.
more than YoungBoy's drop in 2023. And YoungBoy is considered to be one of the biggest artists out now. If we look at Lil Baby, who was once looked at as the next Drake, his career appears to be dying out right in front of the world. Even Drake himself has been on an obvious decline, as if we look at his album sales over the years, we can see a sharp drop in sales happening as well. On Drake's views from back in 2016, he managed to sell over 1 million albums in the first week. Compare that to All My Dogs from 2023, and Drake only sold 400,000 copies. That's less than half the album sold. That's a problem, as Drake is the biggest in the genre, and seeing him lose half his sales while he's still the biggest tells us hip-hop is not selling like it used to. It's clear that something big had to be done in hip-hop to try to draw attention to it. A moment so big that would jumpstart the culture. But what could that be? What could make people interested in hip-hop once again? Well, what if the two biggest rappers in the industry got into a beef that involves all the biggest names in hip-hop? Now, when you look at that just so happens to be what's taking place right now. The one thing that could have saved the industry, Drake and Kendrick Lamar, are now in an intense beef out of nowhere, just in time to save the culture.
Yo, that actually makes so much sense for real, because how many of us have been hearing like hip hop is dead? Nobody wants to battle each other anymore. Like nobody's, really dissing anybody. Yo, like this makes a lot of sense for real, especially because like they kept it PG with their disses. Like none of them got real personal. You know what I mean? Like as personal as it got was when Drake, said the line about Whitney and the bodyguard, like coming, talking about Kendrick's wife. But other than that, like they really wasn't coming at each other, if y'all notice. Like, but then again, I don't know, because Rick Ross, pretty much, he did say that Drake was a snitch, right? Like, that he called the cops and shit. And that's a big no-no. Like, out in the streets, like, being a rat is a no-no. That's the ultimate disrespect. So, I don't know, but let's see what else he gotta say.
The only thing is, I can smell this is fake beef from a mile away. With
Nope.
low sales, Diddy controversies, and nothing seeming to work in hip-hop, you can see why those in the industry are desperate for a moment. So desperate that they are willing to fabricate it themselves. This beef between Drake and Kendrick is 100% staged, a last-ditch desperate effort to save hip-hop before it's too late. Everything about this beef lets you know it's fake from beginning to end. Let me explain exactly what I mean by this. People are looking at this beef kicking off with Metro Boomin, Future, and Kendrick's song Like That, where Future and Kendrick seem to take slight jabs at Drake. There's only 2 or 3 lines on a song from Kendrick that can actually be considered jabs at Drake. The most talked about line is when Kendrick says there's no big 3 in hip-hop, it's only Big Him. This
Yeah.
line is referring to the 3 biggest rappers in the industry, which people often say is Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole. So essentially, Kendrick is saying that there aren't 3 top artists in hip-hop, and he is the only one at the top. Now, while some may consider this a diss, it was very mild as far as hip-hop
Yeah, everybody
disses go.
considers
Usually
themselves
when
to be
rappers
number
have a
one.
problem and are dissing each other, we see things get a lot more personal and much more disrespectful. For
Yeah.
example, like we saw with Biggie and Tupac, where Tupac dropped Hit 'Em Up and famously starts the song by claiming he slept with Biggie's wife. With
So I
that beef,
fucked
there was a
your
clear
bitch.
reason why Biggie and Tupac were beefing. Tupac believed Biggie and Diddy had set him up and tried to take him out in Quad Studios.
Yeah,
Now, when it comes
that
to
was
this
real
Kendrick
big.
diss, not only isn't it personal, but it's very PG, almost like play fighting. Kendrick claiming
See?
he's number one isn't even that much of a diss because all rappers tend to say they're number one in almost every song. Drake's response was
Yeah.
also very mild, and again lacking the disrespect seen in real diss songs. Drake even
Right.
ends the song by saying he's trying to keep it PG. They're only having a
does.
friendly battle. Now ask yourself, what's the purpose for Kendrick even dissing Drake now all of a sudden? The diss was completely out of nowhere with no real purpose behind it. It was
No
just
real
like it was
purpose,
when Kendrick
facts.
dropped the Control verse. Now the truth of the matter is that this song was all marketing for Metro Boomin's new project. With the song Like That being marketed as a Drake diss, it peaked at number 1 on the charts, scoring a number 1 for hip-hop and also helping the album sell better
Smart.
than normal for Metro. This song managed to put hip-hop back in the conversation just like that. One thing that
Yeah.
people should remember is that this isn't the first time hip-hop has orchestrated beef for marketing purposes, as we saw the same thing with 50 Cent and Kanye West back in the 2000s. Back in the
I remember
2000s,
that.
a beef between 50 Cent and Kanye West was promoted to do the same thing they're trying to do now, boost interest in sales for hip-hop. 50 Cent was one of the biggest rappers at the time, and Kanye West was the upcoming superstar who was taking over. The beef was supposed to result in 50 Cent quitting music if Kanye outsold him. Kanye
Oh.
ended up outselling 50, but 50 didn't stop making music. It was all just a marketing tactic to boost sales and sell records, which it worked perfectly, as they both sold outlandishly. Now, when 50 Cent was in real beef, people actually got hurt, and it wasn't only
Yeah,
disses
I
about who's
remember
the
this
best rapper.
beef.
Each record 50 Cent made at Ja Rule was full of disrespect.
ended Ja
Nothing
Rule's
like this
career.
Drake and Kendrick beef. Drake and Kendrick are keeping these disses PG in order to make sure things don't go too far, so they can eventually squash the beef when it's all said and done. Another thing that stuck out to me is the number of people involved in this beef. Right now, it's Drake versus Kendrick, Metro Boomin, The Weeknd, Future, Rick Ross, and A$AP Rocky. Somehow, the entire music industry has gotten involved in this beef in some sort of Royal Rumble type match. It's obvious the industry wanted all hands on deck for this beef to make it as attention grabbing as possible. One thing that people are failing to realize is that all these artists involved in this beef are all friends. Drake has songs with Rick Ross. Drake also has songs with Metro Boomin. Drake
All
also has songs with
bangers.
Kendrick Lamar. Drake also has songs with A$AP Rocky. They've all partied together. They're all a part of the same industry, and they all took the same oath. This lets you know this is all orchestrated by the labels and the artists, strategically created as the remedy to save hip-hop. What most people need to understand is that those in the music industry see the fans as sheep who are easy to manipulate. They know most people aren't going to look too deep into these things and are going to get excited off the thought alone of these two guys beefing, when in reality the record labels and artists see the masses as people they can easily manipulate, and they do it often. The fans
he
often
getting
miss
deep
what's
now.
real and what's marketing, which allows them to get played. The music industry is creating artificial hype to draw in the audience. Now, this is the part of the video where we start getting real and point out the obvious fact in the room. All of these people involved in this beef are nothing more than Masonic puppets. Literally every single artist involved shows that they're Freemasons. Metro Boomin is seen as one of the main people behind the beef. Metro Boomin is a Masonic puppet, and I have exposed him for it. Metro, like all the other
Listen, y'all probably like, oh, they done lost me with all this, conspiracy crap. But he's speaking facts right now. And I know he's gonna go deeper for real. Like, y'all gotta pay attention. Watch, he's gonna get deep.
Masons could be seen throwing up the Masonic all-seeing eye hand gesture. He also called this label Boominati, with the label's logo being the all-seeing eye, one of the main symbols in Masonry. In this music video, he makes it clear.
And one thing about the truth is, he comes with receipts, okay? Like, he shows what he be talking about. Like, y'all gotta go ahead and check him out. Like, his channel is so dope. Like, he exposes the truth. A lot of people don't know and don't understand, but listen,
He's a Masonic
that's
puppet,
a whole
as he
other
repeatedly
subject.
throws up the Masonic all-seeing eye hand gesture. It's the same thing with Rick Ross, who has a song called Freemason. Also in this music video for the song Gici Liberace, Rick Ross flashes Masonic symbols throughout the video. In one point of the video, he shows a Masonic Bible and a Masonic pyramid, clearly indicating he is a Freemason. It's the same thing with The Weeknd, who in Lil Uzi Vert's All My Friends music video could be seen throwing up the Masonic.
The Weeknd, I kind of fell back from The Weeknd because he was having way too much like devil shit in his music videos, and I don't like shit like that. But listen to what the truth is telling y'all.
Who has a song called Freemason. Also in this music video for the song Gici Liberace, Rick Ross flashes Masonic symbols throughout the video. In one point of the video, he shows a Masonic Bible and a Masonic pyramid, clearly indicating he is a Freemason. It's the same thing with The Weeknd, who in Lil Uzi Vert's All My Friends music video could be seen throwing up the Masonic square and compass symbol. He also has a whole series of music videos where he shows himself metaphorically selling his soul for fame and riches. I have exposed The Weeknd extensively in the past. Make sure you check out this video after this one. Future is another obvious Masonic puppet who, like all the rest, has shown his alliance time and time again. A$AP Rocky is another open occultist who actually shows himself selling his soul in his What's Up music video. Rocky has used plenty of Masonic imagery in the past showing his alliance. J. Cole's another Masonic puppet.
What? Not J.
Who
Cole?
has admitted to selling his soul and using Masonic imagery. Kendrick Lamar is another Masonic puppet who has shown his alliance time and time again. I have made many videos on Kendrick proving he took the same Masonic oath as all the rest of the rappers. He is one of the stars the Masons use to represent the Antichrist, as Kendrick has been presenting himself as his blasphemous Christ-like savior. In this song with Kendrick, J. Cole, and Young Jeezy called American Dream, Kendrick refers to himself as a traveling man. While that may not mean nothing to you, this is actually a code word used by Freemasons to identify each other. They call themselves traveling men. They actually identify each other by asking, "Are you a traveling man?" This is exactly what Kendrick is referring to with these lyrics. Now with Drake is the most obvious. Drake calls himself the Sixth God and uses the owl of Manivra as his record label logo. The same owl that the elite make a mock sacrifice to every year at the Bohemian Grove. He also called his record label OVO, which is suspiciously similar to OTO, which we all know is a Masonic organization that was once led by Aleister Crowley. With Drake, his Masonic alliance is extremely obvious. He was born into the industry. Not only was he a child actor, but his father was in the industry before him. Drake was born into the Masons, and even his stage name is Masonic, as Drake actually means Satan in Latin. If you look up the Latin translation for Drake, you will find that Drake means dragon or Satan. So Drake calls
Oh,
himself the Sixth
shit.
God, uses Masonic symbolism, and his name literally translates to the dragon or Satan. Do you really think it's a coincidence that the biggest rapper in hip-hop just so happens to be called Drake, which means Satan, and refers to himself as the Sixth God? You have to be blind to be missing the signs. Now, the industry has created this battle between Drake, Satan, the Sixth God, and Kendrick Lamar, the Antichrist savior of the industry. This is all staged and obviously ceremonial. This is the reason that all the artists involved are Masonic puppets. This beef is all about stealing your attention and drawing you back to the industry that's crumbling. Hip-hop wants to make sure they don't lose their influence over the fans. This entire beef is actually killing two birds with one stone, as while they use it to get eyes on hip-hop, they are taking people's eyes off what's going on around the world. I know you all see the conflicts and drama rising everywhere around the world. Pay attention to what's going on, as they want you to pay attention to Drake and Kendrick instead. Two puppets on the strings of the elite who run this world. It's time we show the industry we're not their sheep to be guided to a burning end, and that they will no longer manipulate us with their marketing strategies. Our intelligence will be respected, and they are going to have to change hip-hop in order to save it, not deceive us to steal our attention. Don't fall for this orchestrated beef. Save your time and instead invest that time in learning about God. Remember, these demons are nothing but distractions. Well, that's it for this video, but before you guys go, I just wanted to once again give a special thank you to Scentbird for sponsoring this video.
I ain't
If you
gonna
guys
cut
want to
this
give
out.
Scentbird a try today, use my link in the description
Oh,
or scan the
pause
code
it.
on the screen now.
I ain't gonna cut it out. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna try to stop no one's bag. Go ahead, check out The Truth Is. And if y'all want to smell good, go ahead and go check out the link in his description. But yo, the truth is, he comes with receipts. Crazy. And even with all the receipts, people will still not believe. That's one thing about The Truth Is, I love his channel. Like, he be exposing a lot of stuff, and he comes with receipts. He don't just be talking. Like, he shows proof of what he's talking about. Like, he shows receipts. Like, he knows what he's talking about. He actually does his research, so he be knowing. And it's sad that even with receipts, a lot of people will still not believe it. A lot of people still got their eyes closed. But I'm gonna be honest, this is why I kind of fell back from a lot of artists, because I started noticing they be having way too much like satanic shit in their videos, and they just exposing themselves more and more. So that's why I try to keep it more into like independent artists or whatnot, because this shit is crazy. Like, man, listen, but if y'all want to start exposing the truth, let me know in the comment section down below, and we'll definitely start exposing a lot of what's going on in the industry and what's going on in this wicked world, period. So if that's something that y'all would be interested in other than, you know, music reactions, let me know in the comment section, because that's something I would love to do. But I don't know if I should start another channel or start here. So I don't know. Let me know what y'all think, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to get my channel to grow, and the only way I could do that is by y'all help, by y'all liking, commenting, subscribing, you know, engaging with me and all that, engaging with my videos. So, you know, but I'm out for now, not for long, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.